Hey, it's Matt Roush.
And Mike Brennan.
And we're back with another edition of the M Squared TechCast. We've got a good lineup for you today. We've got an entrepreneur manufacturing facial monitors for the era of COVID for security.
Yeah, Rudy. Actually, Rudy doesn't manufacture the monitors. He's a distributor for them, and he installs them. His company is called his company is called Securatech. And as a disclaimer, he is one of my sponsors on the Michigan Marijuana Report. But I thought that his product was actually reaches far beyond just the cannabis community. This is something that any business or employer probably would want to install because it will also, keep people out of your business who may or may not be infected. So why don't you describe a little bit, Rudy, on how this device works?
Yeah, hi guys, thanks for having me. This device particularly is a facial scanner, or it will also read your palm. So it will determine what your temperature is, and depending on the settings and how it's configured, can release a door to allow you in or not allow you in. It can set off an alarm to let somebody know that you have a fever. It can notify somebody if you're wearing a mask or not. You can program it to not let somebody in the door if they're not wearing a mask, so the door won't release. So this product's fairly popular. It's very popular now, not only in the cannabis space, but schools. I recently was in Las Vegas. Every hotel, casino has them at every single entrance. The temperature is your first line of defense to seeing if somebody's sick, whether they're COVID sick or have not just a flu. It's just trying to keep your establishment healthy, whether it's your customers, whether it's your employees. And the cannabis space has jumped on board with this. And I've had multiple clients, whether they're a cultivator or a provisioning center, or even a lab recently, who's asked to install them. And the cultivators and labs want to make sure their employees are healthy before they let them in. So they go to the employee entrance, they have their face scanned, it makes sure that they're wearing their mask, that releases the door, and now they're in their workplace. The provisioning centers are doing it a little bit differently. They're making employees use it also, but they're also putting it in the foyer so that customers walk in and they get scanned, or they can read their palm if they're not comfortable with the picture of their face, and check their temperature. And if that is where it's supposed to be, then there's no issues, and they allow them in and they can do their shopping. So it's pretty neat technology. I think that we're going to be installing a lot of them, not just in the cannabis space, but retail space. We have grocery stores that are using the same type of technology, but on a larger scale with some cameras, not something that you walk up to. So even grocery stores that you walk into, there's thermal cameras checking your temperature. Somebody walks in with an extremely high fever, they're going to ask you to leave.
Huh. I wasn't aware of that. I shop at Myers, and I go real early in the morning when there's very few people in there. But they make you wear a mask to walk in. But I didn't realize they were also doing a thermal scan.
Yeah, a lot of grocery stores are doing that. I know Kroger's is testing it right now. We've helped them through the process. I think it's what it's going to be for a while here.
Well, even once we get the vaccine situation under control, hopefully sometime next year, there's a lot of talk about there's still going to be this sort of fear of this for years to come, and so this may be something that is the new normal.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people who are not going to jump on the vaccine bandwagon right away, right? So right. Those people, you still got to kind of watch out for and make sure that they're healthy. I don't think anybody knows what the right or wrong thing to do is at this point.
No. Yeah, and this isn't going to be the last virus either. I mean, we're going to be facing more of these down the road, I think, from what I've heard anyway.
Listen, I'll give myself a plug. Today's my birthday. I know
right. Yeah.
You wish me happy birthday. Yes. But in my 44 years, I haven't seen anything like this before. And you guys might have a few years on me, and I don't think you've seen anything like this before either. So I wouldn't rush to say we're going to keep having pandemics or something of this nature, just because we've never seen it, and I'm hoping
Well, we've had, I mean, we've had pandemics before, but they've been handled better. We had
No, there were
the
more
whole,
epidemics. And this is
yeah,
first, I think, the first time since the Spanish flu 100 years ago. Of course, now Dave Phillips was alive back then, so we should probably talk to him about it, right? So I'm kidding, Dave. I
but
don't want to cut me off here.
we did have Zika, we did have SARS. I mean, so this is,
Yeah.
this is something that does pop up from time to time. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm familiar with both of those, but I don't remember anybody being nervous about it. I don't remember anybody wearing masks, and I don't remember schools and restaurants being shut down or business
Not
being
to this degree, that's for sure. Yeah. Yep.
All right, so
The impact on the businesses is pretty tough.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Securatech in general. I know I met you through the cannabis world because we have Michigan Marijuana Report, but you do a lot of other things for the non-cannabis industry. And since this audience here is more business and technology, why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I founded this company about 10 years ago, 11 years ago. I've been in the business for 20 years. So obviously way before cannabis was around or legal. We have customers. We do work for Ford Motor Company. We do stuff for DTE. We do a lot of retail, hotels, apartments. So we do alarms, cameras, access control, low voltage wiring, really a one-stop shop when it comes to security and low voltage installations.
And certainly in the cannabis space, for those that are not familiar, everything has to be under the video camera. I mean, the Marijuana Regulatory Agency requires everything to be filmed, no matter what you're doing in the cannabis space, right?
Yeah, anywhere there's product, it has to be recorded. So if the marijuana is moving through that hallway or that office or that room or whatever it is, has to be recorded. All your entries and exits have to be recorded. So definitely from a security standpoint, they're very large systems. They're very complex, and they're required to open up. So you can't get away without doing it.
But your security goes beyond video. Why don't you talk a little bit about all the other stuff that you guys do? I know you've got a big outfit there.
We do burglar alarms and fire alarms. Everybody's familiar with them. They've, became a lot more fancy, we'll call it. Nowadays, your burglar alarms for your house have a lot of home automation stuff, so you can unlock and lock doors and turn lights on and off, and do all kinds of neat stuff with your home alarm system. So we do that for homes and businesses. We do fire alarms for businesses. We do a lot of access control. So that's the card reader, the key fob that allows you into doors. We install thousands and thousands of doors every year. For all kinds of businesses, whether it's banks, whether it's cannabis, whether it's grocery stores, doctors' offices, apartments, hotels, all that good stuff. So we do a lot of access control, and then we do a lot of wiring. If you're opening up a new office and you have 50 cubicles, that all needs wiring. Not everybody's a big fan of going wireless across the board. So we do a lot of low voltage wiring. So really our schedule, our project, schedules all kinds of businesses every day, all day, big and small. Everything from a few $100s to a $500,000 project is always on our schedule every week.
So you started out in the business, you said 20 years ago, and this company's 10 years old. Were you with one of the big security companies before that? And if so, sort of when did the entrepreneurship bug bite and you decided you wanted to go out on your own?
Well, I always had the bug. It's in the family gene. But I learned the business. I needed a job a long time ago, and there was a security company hiring, and I remember knowing a couple sales guys there, and I knew they did okay. So they were hiring at the time. I was looking through the Sunday newspaper, like that's how we used to get jobs, right? And I saw them hiring, and I got into the business, and I loved it. I just thought it was the neatest thing ever. You feel great about what you do. You have people counting on you to keep their employees safe, their families safe. They trust you. And from that time, I learned the business in and out, and I decided to go out on my own. A lot of the guys that I work with work for me now. So I've had the same guys forever. I got a great crew of installers and managers that really do a great job.
And so I know the cannabis space is pretty new for you. When you first started out 10 years ago, what was it? The banks and doctor's offices and things. That is how you got started?
Yeah, banks, doctors' offices, small retail, car dealerships. In Michigan, you got a lot of the manufacturing, the automotive. So we were able to. That's what you went after back then, right? The big customer was anything automotive. So we had a lot of automotive customers, and then you get into utilities and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I was never one to have one type of customer. You know, uh, we have little tiny Subways or a small mom and pop coffee shop to very, very large customers, and we treat them all the same way.
Matt?
All right. So I guess you talk about feeling great about keeping people safe. The business has expanded though now, right? You're involved in the cannabis industry. How did that start? How did you happen to get involved in that?
One of our customers was the first licensed cannabis cultivator in the state. So High Life Farms was our customer for the owner's other businesses. He was in the car dealership business, the motorcycle business. And he came to me years ago and said, "Hey, Rudy, I'm going to get into this space. My kids want to get into it, but I'm going to need your help. I need to figure it out, what's needed." So early in the cannabis world, we sat down with the state. We looked at what other states were doing. We kind of helped write the rules and regulations based on what was working and what wasn't working. And we got High Life Farms licensed. And when that happened, since it was the first licensed facility, a bunch of other customers jumped on board. They would do tours of that site. The owner is a wonderful guy. He lets anybody walk through there and do a tour of the facility. So we were able to take other cultivators, other people in the cannabis space, walk through there, and then they saw what we did, and it was all over from there. Since then, we've sold well over 100, and I think we're probably 115 different licensed cannabis businesses right now. So we definitely do more cannabis security than anybody else in the state, and I try to say that we do it better than anybody else.
Okay, well, we're going to let you say that. And now we got about a minute left. So this is what we call the shameless plug. So go ahead and tell people how they can reach out to you if they want more information.
All right, I'm going to say two things. Number one, we're in a crazy time now, and you guys got to be safe. People are walking into your businesses wearing masks. You don't know if they're trying to be safe or they're trying to rob you. So you got to put a lot of things in place to make sure that you and your staff are safe. That's number one. Number two, you can reach me at Rudy, RUDY, at Securatech.com. That's SECURATECH.com. You can call the office anytime, 877-929-2288. You can ask them to transfer you right over to me. I always grab my phone. And you can check out our website at www.securatech.com.
Traditional four-year students love Lawrence Technological University's thriving campus life. But LTU has always met non-traditional students' needs too. Lawrence Tech offers over 100 degree and certificate programs that can get adult students started or back on track. And most of our classes are conveniently offered evenings at our beautiful Southfield campus or online, so you can balance your social, family, and work life even while you power up your career. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.